Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? Is Nathan back with another video presentation? Yes, I'm back like after what? I don't know, 10 hours later. This is episode 6 of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. As you look to my left. Yes, sir. Right, take your time. It's episode 6 of the podcast, as I said it last night. Welcome to those who are joining me. I already seen the comments. Anthony, what's going on, sir? I see you. Thank you. This would be the last episode. Oh, excuse me, wrong banner. On StreamYard in the last episode before we celebrate Christmas. Couple things we're getting into this episode this evening. We're going to preview. I've already previewed, but I'm going to get Mr. Sean Spencer. If you look to my left, Mr. Double Deuce. We're going to talk about the Week 16 of the NFL. We're going to kind of break down the Christmas. We're going to talk about the Christmas games. Not really. Where is my invite at? Sure. Hang on, Ant.
You said that?
He said it. Right. Look. It's right there.
Oh.
My invite. This is going to be kind of a short episode, to be honest with you, in terms of the games, because we got a boatload of college bowl games. We're going to talk about. We've got 5 NBA Christmas games. Okay, I'm clowning y'all. Do y'all? I got you. Appreciate you in the building though. So we're going to start it off. We got the Niners versus the Tennessee Titans tonight. As I talked about it, for all intended purposes, the Niners should win this game. I know AJ Brown is coming off IR. He's missed 4-5 weeks, Sean, if I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what he's going to look like because that offense, honestly and truthfully, without Derrick Henry and AJ Brown, no one's really productive.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill, Anthony saying I'm digging your overlay. How do you feel about tonight's game?
It's going to be interesting. One team is slowly trying to fall out of what, at one point they were in first place, Titans. Now the other team is in desperate need and slowly moving up. San Francisco's hot right now.
I agree.
They got a running game. They got Kittle back, who's doing it. Jimmy G he's playing for his job. He's solidifying his roles. Man was in the Super Bowl like 3 years ago. They're playing really well right now, and they know they cannot afford to slip because the next teams are like, I think, 1 game behind them. Washington's 2 games behind them, but like you got who was it? New Orleans, Philly.
Everyone's right there.
Minnesota to 7-7, right behind an 8-6 San Francisco. So they cannot afford to lose at all. So I think they're going to take this one out. But hey, Titans, all they got to do is get in the door. If they get in the door with that man, Mr. Derrick Henry, watch out.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It does. He's supposed to actually be back by week 18, according to reports. He has been out since the Colts game, which was a long time ago.
Right.
Which felt like it injured his foot. They had a series of running backs. They tried McNichols, Adrian Peterson. And didn't work. And honestly and truthfully, with the Titans, I've noticed these past, like this season, last season, there's something about their cockiness needs to be put in check, especially playing Pittsburgh. Like it's just something when you play the Steelers, particularly the way they've been this year. You're on their logo, and then you lose in that fashion on the road. I think you got humbled.
Yeah.
But really quick, the playoff picture, Tennessee is 9-5. They're still first place in the AFC South, unfortunately.
But Colts 8-6. Colts are right on there,
right on their tail. As I said it last night, the Indianapolis Colts are making the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
So I think the Niners. I already said it last night. I think the Niners are going to win 31-14. What do you think?
Think about 27-20.
I like it. It. This to me is game of the week for week 16. It's the rematch. Those Buffalo Wild Wings versus the New England Patriots. Look, this is a must-win for me for Buffalo. They have to win this game. To lose in the win game with a team that only threw three passes.
Right.
I think Buffalo is ready for them. I do. But I have noticed Buffalo has these tendencies to be very they have to learn how to start being conservative when it comes to crunch time, learn how to run the ball. Like, I'm kind of confused how they're not using Devin Singletary more, maybe a Zach Moss. Like, we shouldn't be really relying on Stephon Diggs. They go, hey, I'm just going to chuck the ball up, Stephon Diggs catch it. Emmanuel Sanders, I know you talked about him at Let's Talk Football with Gerard, shout out to Gerard. He's not panned out from what I thought he was in the early part of the season. Cole Beasley's out with COVID. Hope he gets well. You got a lot of options. So I think if you got Gabriel Davis, who's emerged pretty well to me as a slot receiver for Buffalo. But I think after the Colt game, the Colts showed you how to beat the Patriots. You got to take something away. Like Bill Belichick, he took when he played the Colts, they took away the passing game before I had to take away the running game.
Now the win helped take away the passing game. Or in the Colt game. No, never mind.
Colt.
I think we're talking about the Buffalo game. Yeah, no. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, so I think it all depends. I think Bill Belichick is going to take something away. And Buffalo is going to have to make those adjustments, which I'm really concerned with Sean McDermott. He's got to make those adjustments. If he makes those adjustments, he's okay. I think the Buffalo Bills will win 31-24. Sean, what do you think?
Patriots 27-17.
Okay.
New England.
You think
Buffalo gets knocked out of the playoffs?
Buffalo Bills are not making the playoffs.
No, they get knocked out of the playoffs. Look, if they lose right now, Miami has a tiebreaker. Miami is 7-7. Buffalo's 8-6. If Buffalo loses this game, they will be out of the playoffs right now. I mean, obviously they have to win out, but I can definitely see them not making it the way they're playing right now. And look, they got the same situation y'all have, where they're relying on their quarterback to be their main runner.
Yeah.
He's getting the job done. You're right, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. They had Matt Breida in there for a little bit, but it's similar to what you guys have had. You know what I mean? All three of your guys were out first. You bring in all these other guys with nobody. I mean, Tyson Williams has done a little bit, but nobody's really done
anything.
Right?
It's not sustainable.
So
it's just the identity's not there.
Right. So that's the same thing in Buffalo. Everything goes through Josh Allen, and we all know Tre'Davious White's out for the year.
Yeah.
And he's a game changer on defense. So look. Hopefully they can get it together, but even if they make it to the playoffs, I'm not trusting them right now.
I don't trust them either. I don't either. And because the way that we both were in agreement in the beginning of the season, this was the team that's going to win the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, they had it all. They were just in the AFC Championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just something about, again, shout out the regular Ravens fan, shout out to him. Just trust in your eyes and seeing what you see. Like, I don't know if it's pressure. I don't know what it is, but
I used to be a number one.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Patriots. Patriots don't have the greatest team, but they have people that have been there before. I talked about it last time. Muscle memory. The Patriots have been there. So yeah, the Bills got the AFC East Championship last year, and it's like great. And you go to the playoffs, okay, great. But even in the playoffs, they look shell-shocked. You know what I mean? Then they played y'all and didn't, they did good against the run, but they didn't really
do much against the pass.
Yeah. It was a low-scoring thing. So
10-3.
Yeah, Buffalo can get you to the playoffs, yes. But they're not going to do great right now. Whatever it is, like you said, Stephon Diggs, they're relying on him. Emmanuel Sanders has fallen off the planet. Cole Beasley, with all the stuff he's talking about with COVID and all that, him being out, that definitely plays a factor. But this offense goes through the quarterback.
Right.
But it's everything is right in front of Buffalo's face. If Buffalo wins out, they got to play the Patriots. They got to play the
Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Everything is right in front of you. So it's up to you. Like there's nothing else you can say. And they got to play the Falcons too.
And if they got to, if
they don't make it, that's on y'all, man. That's on y'all. But that would be the biggest disappointment, though.
Do you think if they don't make the playoffs, do you see Sean McDermott out the door?
No.
Okay.
Because who were the Bills before Sean McDermott?
They weren't nothing.
He has built them back up to prominence. They're a solid team. Look, nobody has escaped the COVID bug. Nobody escaped the injury bug. You combine those two things, it really makes a difference. And
big difference.
The X factor, the thing that we didn't really have last year, was the New England Patriots. Let's be honest, the Patriots weren't great last year. People say, "Oh, it was because of Cam." Well,
no, it wasn't Cam.
Maybe if half your team didn't opt out before the season.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let's be honest with that stuff right now. So they are the offense that the Patriots are playing right now is doing everything, probably what they should have done with Cam. Limit his throws, limit all that stuff, run the ball. You got a three-headed monster, Bolden, Ramondre Stevenson, and Damian Harris. Run the rock, limit. How else do you win a game with only throwing 3 passes in the game? You know what I mean? You cannot tell me that they could not have done that a year ago with Cam, limited his passes, and then it's almost like they wanted to. So I digress. That's something completely different. But look, the Patriots, man, I'm telling you, I think they can do it. But Buffalo, man, you gotta figure that thing out.
I agree. I definitely agree. Because this playoff picture, you got really in the AFC, you have 4 teams that are 500, and then Pittsburgh 7-6-1, and then we're right there, the 8th seed. So Buffalo Bills, we're knocking at your door.
But that's the thing. What if it becomes them and y'all?
It's going to be a rematch of the divisional game, and the Baltimore Ravens are going to kick the Buffalo Bills' ass.
Guaranteed. It's going to be interesting, man, because from 4 down, from 4 to essentially 9 at 7-6-1 to Pittsburgh, all of y'all have 6 losses.
Yes, and that's really, and that kind of lets you know how wide open the AFC has been.
It really is.
Low key, again, you said with COVID bug, injury bug, makes a big difference. Makes a big difference compared to the NFC, where you still got the Giants, Seahawks, Panthers, Falcons, or particularly the Panthers, Seahawks, and the Giants still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
So, we're going to transition to which is a much needed win for my Baltimore Ravens. We already talked about that. You have to win this game. From what I understood, Lamar Jackson did not practice yesterday. From what I understand, it's more of a bone bruise. If me personally, I don't think he should be starting. I think it should be Tyler Huntley. I feel like with everything that's been going on with Lamar lately, this is my opinion. I'm not throwing the towel on Lamar. I just think with the way the team has looked after that game against Cincinnati, the first time, and then before he got hurt, poor offensive line, the amount of really, if you go back to the Dolphin game, I think it's just mental. I think it's just gotten to his head right now. And I mean, if you look at it, let's just call it what it is. He has a poor offensive line that seems to be playing a little better. I question some of the decision, him sitting in the pocket, the throws, not I don't know what it is. And again, that goes back to coaching and not really. I just think he's just doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have to, and they're going to have to sit down with him, get his mind right for next year, because I still believe that Lamar Jackson is a generational talent.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you said it yourself. Injury bug, COVID bug. If he had his all pro left tackle, all the defense makes a big difference. Really does. But I have to give him credit in this regard. He has worked with less, to be quite honest with you. Besides Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews, who just, by the way, will break the 1,000 yards receiving yards, both of them, because I think they both can surpass Michael Jackson and Derek Alexander.
Guaranteed.
I think they're all paced to have like 1,000 plus. So I'm not. It's just with Lamar right now. I think the critics have gotten to his head, and I just think it's on mental. Tyler Huntley for right now gives us the best chance to win. And then also too, I don't like the fact that this notion that, well, let's let Lamar go and we pay this guy, or Huntley goes to, if Huntley goes to another team, I don't want Huntley to be in a situation where he gets money and the team around him is mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Going, well, Tyler Huntley, where was this from in Baltimore? And you gotta, it's all about what's around you. So, but the last time we faced Cincinnati, we got our ass kicked 41-17 week 7. Oh my gosh, we got to worry about Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson. We did have 390 yards in that game, but in the fourth quarter we were nowhere to be found. We wet the bed. Our breath was smelling like Similac. Defensively, we had no answers for Cincinnati. We gave up 420 yards. Joe Burrow threw for 416, 3 touchdowns, and Jamar Chase had over 200. Bullshit. Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, came out and said he's not double teaming Jamar Chase. So Anthony Averett has the responsibility of not getting burnt like toast. We also got to worry about not just about Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, what's the tight end? CJ Uzama, Joe Mixon. Hopefully, Calais Campbell's coming back, because we had to put Justin Houston, Pernell McPhee on the COVID list. So it's bad enough that the defense is it's already bad enough. We're already down guys with injuries, but to have the COVID bug at this time, it sucks.
It's rough.
Fun fact, Sean, if you notice the last 3 games, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and Cleveland, we lost those games by 4 points combined. This might be shocking, but I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to sneak out of Cincinnati with a successful 2-point conversion to beat the Cincinnati Bengals 24-21.
Guaranteed.
Nice.
What do you think?
41-24 Cincinnati. You guys are struggling too much. You guys are 8-3. You guys are leading the AFC. And then it's just, I understand quarterback's out, this person out, that. And then one point I'm like, Lamar's out, but then I'm like, damn, and I talked to you about this all day. Tyler Huntley is just killing it. What is happening? So, in a real,
and also too, one thing is the coach has, a coach can't give you confidence, but he could take it away I'm not sure that they're taking away Lamar's confidence, but I think when you're not helping him make the adjustments, because you gotta prepare your players to be prepared for certain stuff, like know how to recover zero blitzes, know how to audible, those kind of different things. I think Greg Roman, to me, he just has this tunnel vision. I've seen it when he was in San Francisco. It didn't work. We can say he got to the Super Bowl, but what about the year after that? Like, Greg Roman teams, after a while, they become really stale. And
now, do you put any of it on maybe Lamar? You know, I mean, we talked about it on This Week in SEC about some of these college guys that have been told that they're the greatest things in the sliced bread coming from middle school. Lamar, we know, is one of the best athletes to come through college, winning the Heisman, all that. At a certain point, sometimes in life, you play by your ability. I know what works. I know I can do this. So sometimes, even when you have a covered blitz and or zero blitz, and you and I are like, okay, audible. Look at the receiver like Aaron Rodgers does. Give him a wink and say, go upfield, and I'm going to chuck it up. Worst case scenario, we get an defensive pass interference.
Right.
But then there's a certain part where it's kind of like, they talk about Jonathan Taylor. Everybody, puts 8, 9 in the box, and they still run the ball. Same thing happened with Lamar for the most part. Sometimes when he was at his peak, they'd put 8, 9 in the box. And he'd still run the ball and dominate. That KC game. You want to go for it? 8, 9 in the box. You know what's coming. Lamar gets it done. There's a certain point when a player comes to the set and says, I got this. Oh, do this if you want to. Come on, do this zero blitz. Watch me do it. But sometimes you get caught. Sometimes, and all the other stuff. There's a lot of other stuff that plays into it, but nobody really wants to win the AFC North. I mean,
yeah, that's what it is. And again, like I said, you said it too. The injury COVID bug really makes a difference. I mean, I put some of it on Lamar because, again, like I said, it's all mental. His decision making, just certain things I've noticed him when he's in the pocket. He's holding on the ball more. He's not trusting his receivers. Like, I really think all that is just because of the recent play. Like, look at the offensive line. Look at the fact he has a left tackle that really is way past his prime. He's got a right tackle that really can't play tackle. That's a guard. You got a guard that was converted to center. There's a lot of things you got to take. I'm looking in consideration, and I mean, he does get some of the blame, but I don't know. Maybe you bark up the wrong tree with me because I'm a Washington fan, and we've started they did a stat on us versus the Eagles game, and it was like we've had 8 different guys play center this year. We've had, and we still getting it done. I get it, but how long are we gonna say? Well, if he had this, if there was that, there was. Sometimes I just think you are who you are. Yeah,
this just isn't, and this isn't the team from 2 years ago that went 14-2.
It's totally different.
This is a struggling team. You called this out from the very beginning. You talked about Ngakoue leaving, the other defensive end or
Judon.
Right, Judon leaving. You see how he's been doing in New England. Yeah, but those are huge pieces to that defense. Then you have both of your star corners who are now out for the season. You know what I mean? Yes, like we said, injuries play a huge factor in this. And this look, when they were 8-3, I said that multiple times. When they're 8-3, I thought they were the most unreliable 8-3 team in the league just because I don't know if I can really trust them.
Right. I mean, I totally get it. I really do. I just look at the injuries, and I mean, and also too, when we traded for Orlando Brown.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'm sitting there going
I remember you talking about that.
Damn, did this one trade really on the trajectory look this bad? Yeah. These. I mean, I do think Lamar will get it together. For sure. We're not throwing in the towel on him. It's just when you have a world generational talent, and look at Patrick Mahomes too. Same thing. For a while there, he kind of struggled, and everyone was like, "Oh, he looking real basic." You know, it makes a big difference when you're missing that key player or two. You know, their defense was not that great, and then it's picking up. You know, who knows? It could be the Ravens with these next 3 games. But
on the flip side, and I know obviously this is to be blasphemy to you. And no, I don't agree that they should move on. But seeing how Huntley has played, and with the contract you would be giving Lamar, you would be able to give that to a number of other players combined and maybe build something around Huntley. I'm not saying get rid of Lamar.
No, I know.
But seeing as we break this thing down more than just I like him, go him, we're like, okay, what's better for the team? You know what I mean? You tasted Super Bowls with, yes, arguably one of the better defenses of all time, but you tasted Super Bowls with Joe Flacco, who hasn't done anything since leaving you guys.
But I'm a strong advocate of why quarterback shouldn't be the highest paid player on your team.
Oh, I agree. And if you win a championship, look, let's be honest. That was a big issue, but also the fact that that defense was amazing. And how many of them left after that game?
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
I'd say at least a good 50%.
It was a totally different team. You know? So, yes, I agree with the Flacco thing because he's from Delaware State. He didn't expect to get that truck and that money and all that after winning the Super Bowl. But that's what happens. You win a Super Bowl, all of a sudden you're the media darling. You know what I mean? But he lost everything. And then to get a Lamar, look, I am all go Lamar. Let's get him to a title. Do it.
Yes.
Prove me wrong. I want that. But at the same time, Huntley showed me something. And I know I get you. But it's financially, I'm like, all this money we're gonna give to this man Lamar, and we've already seen with the 2 COVIDs and all that, and it's kind of like
well, I think with the COVID thing, I do believe that Harbaugh and them sat down with him like, yo, man, like, we need you. Like, you are our franchise quarterback. Get it together. But like you said, I knew you were going to point and say, I think right now it's just all mental.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I was listening to what Jason Whitlock was saying, criticism can be the best music you can listen to. But I also, too, think when we criticize guys, and we have talked about this, it has to come from a place where, you're not – because some of the same things I'm hearing is the same exact thing. Come playoff time, he has to do this. He has to do that. And I'm looking at other quarterbacks in the league. Well, do they warrant that kind of criticism? How come they don't warrant that kind of criticism Lamar has? I mean, it's not a black or white issue. It's if we're holding him to this standard, hold others.
Is he that good? Is Josh Allen a generational talent? Is Baker Mayfield a generational talent? No, Lamar is. Lamar, you literally could take you and me are Madden guys. You and me are NCAA 14 guys. In Madden, if you starting a fantasy draft,
you're taking Lamar Jackson.
He's one of the guys. Him, Patrick Mahomes, even over Tom Brady in a Madden because about running and whatever. But those are the guys you're taking first, and you're building around that. You know what I mean? So, hey, Lamar's that guy. He's definitely. But he will. I do think that it is fair. Maybe not how much they come at him, but I think it is fair that they do hold him to a high standard because he is that talent. Let's be honest.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for you criticizing, but to me, it's becoming repetitive when I hear the same thing.
Record. It's a broken record.
A broken record. Like, oh no, he's really a running back number 1.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, he's a quarterback.
What are we looking at?
Right.
See, and I blame the casual fans for putting that, listening to guys like Stephen A. Smith, who I think kind of picks and chooses, but that's one of the story for another day.
Oh yeah, he's doing it for the show. You know how,
of course.
Yeah, keep moving. You're good.
Yeah. Well, that's enough for the Ravens football. We talked about that for a good period of time, which was good conversation. Let's transition into another game. This is
actually let me see if I
let's see if you can change it. Let's see.
I'm about to see if I can change it. Yeah. Background. I don't know if I got that one. At least got this one.
There you go. I like it. The Washington football team are playing the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Now Dallas, we saw the week 14, and they won 27-20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They played the New York G-Men, which was an easy win. I thought that they would have helped.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we played the Eagles Tuesday because of the recent COVID outbreak. So we're coming up where this is a short week for us. Heineke's back from the team. We had 23 players, Sean, on the list.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Like Ron, I know I was listening to a press conference by Ron Rivera, and he was saying that they got to win. We've got to win this game. I think it just comes back. I think with we had Garrett Gilbert, who, look, for the most part, I think he still was adjusting. We just got him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you're going to be like, okay, I got to learn the playbook. I don't know everybody. I know you talked about it last night on the show with Will Kramer. There was one point where it was Eric Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to help him up, and he was like, I don't think it was like
yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I think it was just,
I just don't know who you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, the offense, I think we got to get the offense going, the run game especially. I'm looking for Jarrett Patterson, Antonio Gibson to have a good game. John Bates has picked it up, really stepped up last few games. Defensively, we get Jonathan Allen back. He's back. Still, he also made the Pro Bowl. I feel like with Heineke coming back, I think it's going to be better, because I just feel like, again, when you're down guys with COVID, it's a big difference, and then injuries too. Now I'm not sure with McLaurin if he. I know he said he was still in concussion protocol, so I believe he's still questionable, but he'll most likely play.
Yeah, he played the other night.
So he did play. Okay. I was really kind of paying attention to the Gilbert. I wasn't paying attention to McLaurin.
Gilbert went deep twice, and he hit him once for about a 40, 50-yard pass, and then another time he kind of overthrew him, and McLaurin stopped an interception. So
yeah, but how do you feel? I mean, I feel about this game. I feel confident that Washington won this game.
Nah, we're gonna get beat like 35 to like 17.
Really?
You don't have anybody. We don't have. How can you play a game without anybody? I mean, even when you get Taylor, Heineke back, and you get Jonathan Allen, they're gonna play, yes, but you got to do something. We gave up 238 rushing yards to the Eagles. Okay, now look. Eagles, they have an identity. They run the ball. This is what it is. The Eagles ain't that great. We jumped out on them 10-0 in the first half and honestly shut them down in the first half. Or we took 10-0 in the first quarter and shut them down the first half. But, they tied it up at 10. But eventually, especially after halftime, the depth showed. We don't have any depth because everybody's hurt. Jamin Davis has a shoulder injury. Cole Holcomb just got hit with the COVID bug. We literally are like out of linebackers. We don't have anybody to play. These guys are healthy. They need the victory because now they're the 2 seed and they need that number 1 seed to because the only way the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl is if they get the 1 seed and they get the first round bye. That's the only way the Cowboys are getting the Super Bowl. But look, the way we played against Philly, we did the best job we could with what we had. I can't even hate on Gilbert because Gilbert's like.
He was a last minute fill-in. He was
just the sacrifice to the Eagles guys. Like that's all that was. Gilbert wasn't anything that I can't even get mad at Gilbert. I mean, he did the best. His numbers, I think it was like 20 for 31. Just under 200 yards. He actually didn't do terrible. He didn't have any mobility whatsoever, and it showed. So once the pocket kind of shrunk around him, he just tried to strong arm it, and he was able to get a couple of those passes, but. He looked like exactly what you said. Like he didn't know. He freshly came off the street, and they handed him a playbook. And they said, "Get whatever you can in the days you have, and just go out there and play it."
Right.
And back to that whole Flowers thing. It wasn't. I don't think it was a spiteful thing, or it was just. I don't even know who you are to take your hand to get up, and it's just like, last week I was at home chilling, and now I'm getting my butt kicked on Tuesday night.
Yeah, you're right. But check this out though. With the Washington football team, we are a 10.5 point road underdog for this week 16.
Yep.
They are favored to beat Dallas because let's call it what it is. Dallas, from what I read, let's be honest.
We're not favored. The other way around. No, 10.5 is the other way. Yeah, they're supposed to beat us by almost that.
Okay, I apologize.
I was like, wait a minute.
I apologize.
No, I was like, I'm about to go to the group chat with that. That's what we favored. That's right.
but let's call it what it is. The Dallas Cowboys last few weeks offensively have looked very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Dak Prescott. Can he get it together? That's number one.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard have battled injuries. We know that defense is arguably probably one of the best defenses we've seen in the league. But we know Mr. Trayvon Diggs can get burnt like toast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Michael Parsons, for all accounts, should be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But it's just something about when you play a divisional rival, and I get it. Short rest, where our roster's limited, but I can't see us losing on the road. I just can't see that. Like, I think Dallas has pulled out victories because of their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense, it's just been underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Washington, like, again, you pointed it out. You said it honestly from the jump. Injuries injuries play a big factor. Mm-hmm. And also too, we had some guys off that COVID list. It makes a big difference. That's why I'm looking at Antonio Gibson. I'm looking at McLaurin, John Bates, Jared Patterson. They're going to take it one play. It's going to have to be one offensive possession at a time.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to will themselves to win this game. Because I still believe the Washington football team will make the playoffs.
Right.
I do. But
is it smart to make the playoffs?
Washington football team?
Mm-hmm.
With the current state of this roster right now.
No, I mean, even if we were all healthy right now, would it be smart to make the playoffs?
Well, I see where you're going because of the quarterback.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, think about it. Think about who we would play. If we come in at the 7th seed, we most likely probably have to play a Dallas. Or the Packers. Or
so you're saying lose. So you're saying lose this game.
I'm saying that. Do I want to win? Of course, it's no question. I'm always going to say we want Dallas, and I'm always going to think we're going to win. I'm putting my analytical hat on right now, and not my fan hat, and being like, on one side, like, we don't have anybody even in the secondary to stop Dak from throwing. Even I agree with 100%. We held Dak to 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. They were 1 of 6 in the red zone. Okay, we shut them down. Their defense spotting them to 18 and them getting the other touchdown, making it 24 at half was the reason why they won the game. Yes, yep. I agree with that. Even that team had more people than we have right now.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Plus the fact that it's on Sunday night. We're historically not the best on Sunday nights. Major Sunday night, Monday night, all that stuff. But my thing is this. Do I want to play? Do I want to go hard? Yes. Do I think we should win? Yes. I hope we can. But if we were to lose, and I think we could beat the Giants, I even think we could beat Philly. But if we were to lose and stay where we're at now, we'd be number 10 in the draft. We have many things that we need to address. Depth, potentially getting a number. We need a receiver to help McLaurin. Curtis Samuel didn't do it for this year.
Yeah, and then that's another thing that I wanted to ask you, because Curtis Samuel showed me when he was in Carolina, okay, he could be the number 2 wide receiver behind McLaurin. And then his first year, we're already looking at injuries. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not –
No, I think he's a true number 3. He's a slot. He does a lot of – he's almost like a wide receiver version of McKissick. He runs that jet sweep and then goes out for the screen, goes out for a quick little handoff, whatever, and he does that type of stuff. But again, the best ability is availability. If
and
you're not on the
not been
field,
like that the whole year.
Right. But
Do you think Cam Sims could be a number 2?
He's not consistent enough. He always right around this time of the year, because he did it last year. He had a big game against the Steelers in that time we beat them. He had a couple big games in that 4-game winning streak where he's doing good. But it's just it's like, oh, okay, great. I didn't even remember you were on the team halfway through the year because you haven't been doing anything.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. A year ago, Nathan, we were hyped. We started off the year worse, 1-7, and was just terrible. And then we made this run, kind of like Miami, and I was like, yes. And all we could think about is getting to the playoffs. And the Eagles did something very smart because we played the Eagles in that last game. We were playing them tough.
Oh, yeah.
Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns and was beating us. Then all of a sudden, the Eagles said, "Wait a minute, we need that draft pick."
And they just tanked.
Right. And they put Sudfeld in their tank. I'm not saying tank. I don't believe in that. I am saying, though, if we do make it to the playoffs, we go to 19th, 18th or 19th in the draft, and we just go higher by each game that we win. Do I realistically think that we can make it to the Super Bowl? No, I don't. I'm being very true with this. So what I'm thinking is that you give it your best shot. I don't think we can win this game. And if we play like we played on Tuesday, we're not going to be able to beat Philly. So let's get that 10th pick. Let's either leverage it for what we need or let's start working towards this. I think, honestly, we have the core. We got the D-line. We got a couple members in the secondary. We got to work on our linebackers. Offense, we need a receiver. We need to shore up that line for depth, and we need a quarterback. So we have holes and things that we need to address. And I just don't think it would be beneficial going long term if we made it to the playoffs.
And you know what? In retrospect, it kind of makes sense for the Ravens too, because when you make that with the argument that you're making, you can make the same thing for the Ravens because there's a lot of holes.
But look, and think about this. Here's the other thing. What if we said about Dallas all year in their schedule?
They're playing easy teams.
Exactly. Why are they playing easy teams? Because
they were trash last year.
Exactly. So I'm not saying we're going to get this cakewalk schedule, but we're going to get a schedule that's going to be beneficial to us. Where we might get some Lions and some Jags. You know what I mean?
We might get a Seahawk in there too.
Right. You notice we didn't get any of that this year.
Nope.
You got Carolina and Denver going 3-0 because they're playing the Jags and the Jets and all these crap.
They're playing, yeah.
And, you know, we had a stretch of Tampa Bay, Green Bay, KC.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Gosh.
Yeah, and we had Jameis when he was with New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. It was a rough season. It was a rough
thing for us too. Yeah, we had Kansas City. Well, we didn't face Tom Brady. We faced Aaron Rodgers. Then we got to face Matthew Stafford.
Right.
I
So I mean, look, I got to take my fan cap off because look, I want nothing more than to beat Dallas, especially with all the issues we have. Because you already know I will be uncontrollable on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for all those shows. Because I will tell each and every one of them, "Yep, we beat you. Yep, da da da." But realistically, this year has been rough.
It
has been rough, and we had a couple of bright spots, and you can see it.
You see the potential with both teams. You do,
but we're not going to. But if we get the same situation we got last year into this year and have that schedule, we're not going to be able to make it, man.
Right?
We're not.
No, I agree. You're right.
No.
I'm not trying to be biased. Like, I see the potential with Washington. I do. It's just something about when you play a divisional rival.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't expect the unexpected.
I agree.
But I agree. Looking at the team, there are some holes that need to be addressed, and they're saying some things in the offseason that have to be addressed as well, not just with the players, but with this as a whole organization. But that's one of the video for the day.
Yeah.
But just because I have love for the Washington football team, I'm going to say the Washington football team surprises the Dallas Cowboys 27-24.
Guaranteed.
I can dig it.
Just because it's a divisional rival. But I totally get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
So, but do you really think that we can beat them with not having a depleted roster, being at their house, and they are playing for the number 1 seed in the playoffs? They're not going to sit anybody. Pollard's back. Zeke is we know he's hurt, but he's still running the ball.
The offense though has been has underachieved.
Very true.
Last few games.
Very true.
I can't ignore that. Like if they were consistent, because that's the biggest question coming into the playoffs for Dallas. Can they sustain this the way this offense is right now? Is it sustainable in the come playoff time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gotta ask that question.
I agree with that question, but we're not talking about playoff time right now. We're talking about this game. Again, is it sustainable against us? Yes, unfortunately. But you were right before. You said we're going to beat Tampa. We beat Tampa. So
Nick was good.
You said we were going to beat Tampa, and we beat Tampa. So hey, I hope you are right more than you even can imagine. All right, but yeah, really.
No, I get it. I totally get it. Let's transition to the Monday Night Football game. Oh, just by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Football Team versus the Dallas Cowboys are Sunday night. Mm-hmm. So this is the Monday Night Football game. The New Orleans Saints versus those Miami Dolphins, mm-hmm. who are 500 on the year. They are on a roll these last few games. The New Orleans Saints, they're coming off a astounding victory against
big win.
Mr. Dimple Chin himself. The final score, 9-0.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
That New Orleans defense has been really key.
Mm-hmm.
They really have. So Ian Book will be starting in this game because Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian have entered COVID protocol. Mm-hmm. So for all intended purposes, the Miami Dolphins should win. I don't know anything about Ian Book.
Got a Notre Dame, decent college. Hasn't really got much of a chance in the pros to prove himself. I think he's got a couple games in the league, but look, unless Miami all of a sudden goes on, like doesn't do anything, I think I'm with you, man. He won 6 straight after being 1-7. Now they're 6-7-7. Shout out to Bobby Wills, man. Mm-hmm. Hopefully Miami can keep it going, man. I really want them to, because look, they're 1 game behind Buffalo. They're 2 games behind New England. They played New England at the end of the year. You know what I mean? They played New England at the end of the year.
Here.
Miami, this is your shot, man.
This is your shot. I agree. Nick Rosario He said Dolphins by 3. That should be interesting. And this is a home game for the Saints. No, so far they're 2-4 at home, which is weird. I think that the New Orleans Saints will surprise the Miami Dolphins. I'm looking along the lines of
I like that.
2017.
Guaranteed.
Here we go.
I had Myles Gaskin on my fantasy team. They're starting to use Duke Johnson. They're going to utilize him more. I could tell because they're more of a pass. I know they just become more of a passing offense, but you got Kamara, you got Callaway for the Saints, Smith. I think they're going to make the game simple for Ian Book. I do, but then again, I can't sneeze at the Miami Dolphins defense. You know what? It wouldn't faze me. It really wouldn't faze if this is another Tampa Bay, like against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where it's a low scoring game, like 10-3. It would not faze me.
My guy, Mr. Waddle's back, man. Devontae Parker's balling out. Gesicki, we talked about Gesicki before, man. Tua is doing his thing. Look, that defense. Number 94. I can't think of what his name is. The guy that's always, it was always mic'd up. Got himself a touchdown and broke it down. You know, doing the worm and whatever. Go Miami, baby. I'm hyped on Miami. I think they're gonna make it to the playoffs.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs too.
But I love Miami. I want them to win. But yeah, you could be right though, because after what we saw a week ago, we can always say that's a divisional game. So maybe that's but like what we saw, you never can tell. And that defense for New Orleans,
they can play.
That's the truth.
They can.
So we'll see.
He really did the world.
Yep.
I mean, I love Christian Wilkerson. But that
Friday too hottie.
Oh my goodness.
WORM.
Oh man, shot this guy too hottie, man. Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Let's transition into week 16 picks. We got an interesting week. We got the Green Bay Packers versus the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
What a way to start Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are going to beat the Cleveland Browns 41-10.
Guaranteed.
Aaron Rodgers is going to break the record as a Packer for most touchdowns.
Wow.
Well deserved.
Nice. I think 26-23. 26-23 Green Bay.
Okay.
If the Browns were playing a divisional matchup, maybe I'd pick the Browns. But after what I saw last week against the Raiders,
Lord have mercy.
Can't pick them. But I think they're still trying to play for something.
I think they're trying to as well, but
I don't see a blowout.
They should have.
Maybe it's Christmas. I mean, I don't think they would put that game on. I don't know. Maybe there could be a blowout. I don't know.
they lost to a team that
watch out for the Raiders.
Yeah, don't see.
May or may not have said they're going to make it to the playoffs too. May or may not. I got to look at the videotape. But
I might eat my words on that one. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Arizona Cardinals after a surprising loss to the Detroit Lions. I don't know what to expect from this team.
Wait a minute.
But with the Cardinals, really quick, we got my soapbox. This was a team everybody said, yes, you could go ahead and wear that proud. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to expect. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to beat the Cardinals.
I agree.
I think it's going to be like 27-21.
Guaranteed.
Oh, I agree. I say 27-17, but I'm right there with you.
Right.
I agree.
The Detroit Lions versus those Atlanta Falcons.
Detroit Lions are playing spoiler. They're knocking the Falcons out of playoff contention this week. Let's go Lions.
Well, Jared Goff said he was put on the COVID list as well. He said he's not sure his chances of playing. Which sucks. Let's see. I think.
Guarantee.
Let's see. Because I feel like they even talked about moving on from him. Tim Boyle and David Blau are his backups. So that kind of stings.
Yeah. Goff is thrown for over 3,000 yards this year. 17-8.
But you know what's funny though? Is that sustainable? Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, I'm done with Jared Goff," and I'm like, "But he's capable of. He's good.
He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's.
I think he just had just bad luck.
I think that McVay was more of the reason why that offense worked and with the Rams. I think Jared Goff is good. I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any means. Right. But I do think he was one of the quarterbacks that got helped by the quarterback hype in the draft. He got picked early out of Cal. I never really saw Jared Goff as like this big quarterback. I thought he was good. He's better. I would love to have him on my team. Let me say that. I if he was on my team, I would want to start him over Taylor Heineke.
You see him more like a game manager.
I think he can ball. I just don't think he's
not someone's leader of man.
I guess you can say that because I don't know. I haven't really seen him as a vocal guy. You know what I mean? So, I personally don't think that.
Hey, Michelle, how are you? Good to see you.
What up?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I look. I'm not saying I don't think he's bad by any means. I would want him over my guy. I think he'd do great with like the Giants or some of these teams that are like bad. I think he'd be great for leadership.
For sure.
Them. But maybe that is the problem. Maybe the fact that he's not vocal kind of messes with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if he was on the Lions, like they've had some rough games. Especially when Campbell called him out and said, "I need more from my quarterback."
Yeah, I definitely would have spoken.
I would have been like, "Hold up, I'm the one here taking beatings." Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm the one who getting sacked every other play. You need more from what? You know. So yeah. I think I do need a little bit more vocal from him. I don't want to say he's not a leader of men. I was eager to see what happened because he was able to hide behind that stud defense. And you know what I mean? And Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Higbee, Todd Gurley for most of that time, Tony Michelle, Henderson. So he has a team and a coach and all that stuff around him. And put you this way, I think Matthew Stafford is more of a threat. It's more of a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
Jared Goff.
And I know that Jared Goff got to the Super Bowl, but I think that was a case of the team got them, and he happened to be the leader of that team.
Right. Yeah. But also too, I think the way how it went down because we're talking about he and Sean McVay. It was like teacher, student.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'm like,
he didn't need to say any of that. He didn't need to go out of there and say he could have just let well enough alone. I thought that was a little low to say that. You know what I mean?
That kind of says more about Sean McVay than anything.
Well, right, but he's another one of these young guys that's been deep. Oh, he's a genius. He's this great analytics. Mind. Right. So what we have to do, and you've mentioned it, we have to stop giving all this love and attention to what these people say, these coaches or these analysts and everything like that. Because at the end of the day, they're all human. They're all if we got crucified for everything that we said in this platform or elsewhere, you know what I mean? So
you're right.
Yeah. So hey, hopefully Jared Goff can get it done. As of right now, without help, I just don't.
No, I get it, and that's what I'm looking at the same thing. Besides Hawkinson,
right. Well, yeah, exactly. Besides T.J. Hawkinson and maybe Swift,
they don't have. I mean, St. Brown, he's just who I have on my fantasy team. But
now I think he would be able to take maybe an Atlanta. I think he'd be able to take them to the playoffs. I think the Lions are just horribly bad, so you can't.
It's a mess. It goes from starts at top and it goes all
now. If you're Detroit, do you pick a quarterback?
No, okay. I think they need a number. I think I think you have a guy that's a Pro Bowler. He's gotten to the Super Bowl. You need to develop some pieces. I think you need a wide receiver would be nice. You got an offensive lineman who, for most intended purposes, everyone was like, "Oh, okay, Penei Sewell." Mm-hmm. I think they need a number one wide receiver. They can build on that defense, build around Goff, and take it from there. That's just me.
But does he have that long?
Yes, I think he does. I do. I mean, how many? I mean,
not just from player standpoint, but front office. Are they going to give him that long of a leash to do that? Because
they gave it to Matthew Stafford for 10 years.
All right, but here we go though. Matthew Stafford coming in, and Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford was head and shoulders, in my opinion, above Jared Goff coming from college. Okay, and then you see what Matthew Stafford did with. Yes, we can say he had Megatron, but we have Megatron, who's obviously Hall of Famer, and then you go Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. Name some other guys that they had. You talk
the Lions?
Yeah, the Lions.
Pettigrew?
Pettigrew. Is Pettigrew better than Hawkinson?
No.
I mean like studs. I mean like he didn't have help Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford balled out. Jared Goff had help, and Jared Goff was still suspect. And
when he was with the Rams.
Yeah. I thought he was still average. I didn't think he was a solid quarterback. He had weapons. I just think we can't underestimate the fact that teams you talked about with the Ravens. If Lamar Jackson has Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, come on now.
Big difference. No, I get you.
Oh yeah.
I'm following.
I'm not trying to dog Goff.
No, I get you. I totally understand where you're coming from. I do. But they got that coaching staff. I think Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, they've proven themselves to stay a couple years.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is well, we'll see what we can do. We can do. I think you can really build something with this team.
I get it.
I do.
I get it.
But I think the Atlanta Falcons, and they're at home. I think Cordell Patterson will have 2 touchdowns. I think we'll have a better week with fantasy football.
Hold up. Let me put this in context, folks. My man is in the playoffs, and he's starting Cordell. He needs Cordell Patterson to go off. That's why he's –
I think Cordell Patterson, he had 5.3 points last week. Come on, man. That can't happen. I need a Cordell Patterson to step up this week. And I have St. Brown for the Lions, too.
Yeah.
So – but I think it's going to be probably one of those games with the first half they feel each other out. I think it's going to be something like 23-20.
Okay.
That's where I see that.
Yeah.
So, Rams versus the Vikings. The Los Angeles Rams are beating the Minnesota Vikings.
Guaranteed.
The Vikings. Let me take that back. I can't sleep on the Vikings because Dalvin Cook was on the COVID list.
Yeah, he's got COVID. Yeah. He's got COVID protocol. Now, Thielen will be back, I believe.
Yeah, he should be. And you got Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
You got the other guy. I remember he stepped up. He had a big game too.
KJ Osborne.
Not Osborne, the running back. Matthiasen.
Oh, Madison.
Madison.
Madison. Yeah.
So I don't. You never know what to expect, but the Vikings something's got to give with that team.
Yeah, they've been in every game, but yeah,
something has to give.
I think the 7-7 and 6-8 and all that. I think those teams are going to win, lose, and that 7th seed in the NFC is just
it's terrible.
Yeah. So Minnesota, it's going to be close though because Minnesota's had a bunch of close games.
Yeah, right.
But they still have Kirk Cousins. So moving on.
The Jacksonville Jaguars play the New York Jets. The Tank Bowl.
Oh.
I don't even know what to expect, honestly. Because this could, after seeing that trash against the Texans, well, they have the number 1 overall pick. So I think the New York Jets are going to beat the Jaguars 17-10.
Guaranteed.
I mean, both teams are just not that good.
I think the Jets are going to win 3-2.
I like it. A field goal
garbage. Yeah. It's gonna be a whole bunch of nonsense. Like, why are we watching this?
Oh my god. The Giants versus the Eagles. Now they played. They were in New York the last time.
I believe so.
And they played well, but Eagles are at home. I think the Eagles are gonna pull this one out.
Divisional games, just like you said.
It's just something about the divisional game. You just never know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah, the Giants. Yeah, Giants won 13-7 in that game.
Just Jalen Hurts just didn't look like Jalen Hurts.
No. I'm hoping for New York, but I got Philly.
Yeah, I got Philly in that one too. The Chargers versus the Texans.
Chargers.
The Los Angeles Chargers are beating the Houston Texans 30-0.
Guaranteed.
I'm sorry. That just and Brandon Cooks was put on the COVID list as well.
That's their weapon.
That's their really only true weapon.
One weapon.
Tom Brady, Mr. Dimple Chin, and the Buccaneers are playing the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are not what I thought they would be, even with Cam Newton there. You know it's bad when your kicker in warm-ups gets injured. That's how bad the season is. Honestly, truthfully, I don't think they need to rebuild. I do question where's the identity. I mean, we all know it's Christian McCaffrey, but without him, DJ Moore, Matt Rule's going to have some work to do.
Yeah. Well, the giving up Curtis Samuel thing, I think, is Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore were, I think, two peas in a pod that got to play off of each other. Yeah. I think separated them, as you saw, both of them had less than okay season. DJ Moore probably better because he was on the field, but Samuel wasn't in there. They don't have each other to play off of. No. And then no C-Mac in the backfield, and then you have three separate quarterbacks that you're trying, and Cam, Darnold, and PJ Walker. You got to figure it out because they got the defense, man.
They have the defense. They do.
You know who I would actually be interested in talking to? That training staff. Because PMC the last 2 years has been going through this hamstrings and this stuff. What are y'all doing? Right.
Yeah, I question it too. Because and it's happening quite frequently. Like he's missing 4 or 5 games.
Right.
And it's the same injury over and over. And it's like, well, how? Like, what are you doing? The same thing with the Ravens too, but really across the whole league.
Right.
ACL tears, MCL tears, hamstring injuries. These trainers. I don't know if it's overwhelming of COVID. I don't know, but
some of those tears. Some of those things are freak accidents.
Yeah,
but the recovery should not. I don't know.
It shouldn't be 3-5 weeks.
Maybe we look at it differently because of all the people that are having these major injuries and they're coming back with this record time, and even Derrick Henry. We all thought he was shut down. I definitely dropped him on my fantasy team because I thought there was no shot he came back, but now he potentially can come back.
Week 18.
Yeah, 10 years ago, this doesn't happen. 10 years ago, he's out for the season. He's out till next year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
What's going on?
What I mean?
The Bears versus the Seahawks. What do you think?
I don't know. Is Nick still watching? Because I don't want to be rude. But
I actually have the Chicago Bears pulling this one out.
I got Seattle because I think they're technically still in the hunt.
Both teams are still in the hunt, actually.
And who?
The Bears the Bears. No, the Seahawks are still in there.
Yeah,
they're 5-9.
I think Seattle, because look, Seattle could potentially salvage this season somewhat. Now, I mean, they'd be 8-9, and I think that's salvage compared to what they were.
Right.
You know what I mean? We obviously know they are nothing without Russell Wilson. The fact that Chris Carson's been out most of the year has been a struggle.
DK Metcalf has not looked the same.
He really hasn't. He really hasn't. Now, Lockett has still gotten his numbers, but DK Metcalf is really, I think everybody all got excited last year about how great he did, but DK Metcalf is he's not the same.
No, I did not play football, sir. I participated in varsity baseball.
Hey, look, this man was a 5-star, okay? 5-star dual sport athlete. Okay? He got recruited by Michigan, okay, Minnesota, and USC. But he turned them all down and he tried to walk on at Maryland. But then some stuff happened and he had to step away. That's on the next 30 for 30. Nathan Snell.
I like that. I like it.
Could have been. From the field to the mic.
Yeah. I like it. No, but I agree with what you're saying with the Seahawks. I don't. But you were talking about on the show last night with Gerard. I don't think that they're going to be. I think their identity is not what it was. I know that they made the playoffs 9 of 11 years, but when your star quarterback publicly comes out and says, "I need some help," it's not addressed. That's an issue to me.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. Pete Carroll, should he be fired? No. I do think it is kind of getting stale, maybe-ish, with, after your voice may not be the same in that locker room, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But I'm with you on that one. No, I did not play football. I didn't play football. We
make it up this.
We were just joking. He wanted to know, what sports did you play?
I played running back, little league, high school. Got a partial scholarship to Virginia State, the Trojans in Petersburg, Virginia. Got hurt and just never went back to. I didn't really like the school and everything like that, so I didn't go back to playing. But we've been doing this stuff we've been talking sports for as long as I can remember. So yeah.
We got the Broncos versus the Raiders. Teddy Bridgewater's not playing after that. Man, that was ugly. That was ugly.
Teddy Two Gloves.
To see, because the way he hit the ground, it didn't look good. And he's talking. And here's a guy I think who could potentially get paid to be a starter, but Teddy Bridgewater and these injuries like that. Mm-hmm. I remember when he was in Minnesota. I forgot who they were playing. And he goes down to the ground. The guy didn't hit him, but you see when his head hits the pavement and he's out cold. Like, things like that just scare me with Teddy.
No, I understand that. I do want to say in the group chat, David Ferguson, the Steelers fan, said Big Nate said the Ravens were guaranteed to win the AFC North. # never forget.
Oh, Lord.
Steelers and Ravens going at it in the chat.
I'll have to check that out. I'll check it out. But I'm gonna say the Denver Broncos are going to beat the Broncos.
Ooh, about what?
They're going to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. I said the Denver Broncos will beat the Denver Broncos.
Yes, I agree. They will beat themselves with Drew Lock, and the Raiders will get the W.
I'm so sorry. They're going to beat the Raiders. I'm looking on the lines of 24-21. Because I still think Derek Carr is an MVP candidate. I feel bad for Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs. They got a team, but they're just going to do some off season. Mark Davis going to clean house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. David Ferguson versus Patty Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
You've been waiting for this.
Listen. I respect the Steelers. I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin and what he's doing. Same thing. You can make the same argument with John Harbaugh, with the way the way he's kept his composure with this team. A quarterback that we all have. Let's be honest, we've all kind of bashed about. He's not the same. He needs to go sit it down. And you got a couple divas on that team. A running back that's pretty much carried the team. A tight end that could actually be his Pro Bowl caliber in Freiermuth. That defense is still respectable. I'm not going to sleep on that.
They're healthy. Yep.
But you've got Tyreek Hill on the COVID list. I think Kelsey was put on the list too. Mm-hmm. You still can't sleep on Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. But you can't sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm about to say. # one last dance. I'm telling you, man.
Which is why you're going to have another tie. 30-30.
Guaranteed.
Wow.
I don't think there's going to be any winner.
That's hilarious. I would love for that to happen.
Let's go!
I love that guy.
He's actually still coaching too.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep. Yeah, but that's week 16 picks. We're going to transition. This is going to be the last couple, really honestly, truthfully, the last segment of the show before we close it off. We're going to transition into the bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big week. Actually, hold on. Let me hold on for that, bro. Just a quick second. We have the NFL news. We talked about it last night with Vincent Jackson. Was diagnosed with CTE, stage 2.
Mm-hmm.
Le'Veon Bell said he would consider retiring to pursue boxing. Interesting.
He won. What's the dude name? Logan Paul. Yeah, that's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
That's what he want to fight him. That's what everybody want to do because of that purse. He like, man, I may make some money off of this bout.
Right. Cole Beasley made some comments since he's been after testing positive for COVID-19. We all know he's been very outspoken about the whole thing, which is not surprising to me. I am going to hold off on another topic, and I want to bring you back on the show for this at some point.
Okay.
We'll probably do the episode I was talking with you, you and Ab, shout out to Ablo, with the coaches. With now Urban Meyer gone, that's going to be another set. We're going to hold that for that episode.
Okay.
But I do kind of want to really recap the Pro Bowl. If you didn't hear, Sean, they announced the Pro Bowls.
The team
For both teams.
Yeah,
the roster has been set. Now last year we didn't have the Pro Bowl because it was canceled due to COVID. So again, if you haven't seen it, I'll just go ahead and get off the names. There was actually a surprising list for the quarterbacks for the AFC: Justin Herbert, Patty Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Patrick Ricard, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, Rashawn Slater, Deion Dawkins, Orlando Brown Jr., Quentin Nelson, Watt Teller, Joe Patino, Corey Lindsey, Ryan Kelly. Defense: Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, DeForest Buckner, Cameron Hayward, Chris Jones, TJ Watt, Bosa, Judon, Dennis Leonard, Perryman, J.C. Jackson, Denzel Ward, Xavier Howard, Kenny Moore II, Kevin Bernard, Darwin James, and the Honey Badger. And the special teams is off with A.J. Cole, Justin Tucker, Devin Duvernay, Matthew Slater, and Luke Rhodes. That's the AFC.
Yeah,
what do you think of this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's right. It's nice. It's not. For the most part, I believe in it. I'm looking over at this NFC thing, and I'm like, NFC is looking right. AFC.
Now, what do you think of it so far?
The AFC one?
Well, for the AFC and the NFC, the Pro Bowl roster selection.
For the most part, I think it's pretty legit. Kyler Murray, I do question him. He's one of the 3 quarterbacks from the NFC, and I respect what he's done this year, but he's been out. He was out for like a month of the season. I don't think necessarily you want to put him in that slot at number 3. I think you could have gone elsewhere with that.
I agree.
Another one on here is James Conner for Arizona. Like, he's been very, very touchdown dependent, and I get it. He's gotten numbers, but I think that's one of those things that's like, could you have found somebody else? You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, everything else, wide receivers, Kupp, Adams, Jefferson, Samuel, I'm with it. Tight ends, Kittle, after he's come back, he's balled out, but Kyle Pitts as well. You got guys like Trent Williams and Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. Washington got Brandon Sheriff on the offense.
Yep, well deserved.
Yeah, definitely. Kelsey from the Eagles and Jensen, Juszczyk at fullback. On the defense, it's pretty self-explanatory. You got Nick Bosa and Cameron Jordan. You know that. Aaron Donald, Jonathan Allen, another one to watch them. Shout out to you. Chandler Jones, Robert Quinn, Shaq Barrett. Brian Burns, defensive end from Carolina. That's a very little-known name. I think that's I'm glad he got that.
Very happy for him. Yeah, Florida State boy.
Yeah, exactly. Inside, you got Micah Parsons and Bobby Wagner. Corners, the number 1 corner on here is Trayvon Diggs. Number 2, Jalen Ramsey. So you see how much they look at Trayvon Diggs. Then you obviously Darius Slay, who shut down my guy this week, and then Lattimore, Quandre Diggs for the Seattle Seahawks, a free safety, Harrison Smith, Buda Baker, Strong. You got Josh Harris at long snapper, Agner, the punter from the Cowboys, yeah. And then you got Matt Gay, the punter, the place kicker from the Rams, and Jakeem Grant as the return specialist from the Bears, which is good. I'm glad they got somebody on there.
The most selections were by the Indianapolis Colts with 7. Behind them were the Chiefs and the Chargers, tied at 6. The Ravens, Browns, Cowboys, Niners, and Tampa Bay had 5 altogether. With the Lamar Jackson, I was actually surprised. I think it really shows me that these players actually do appreciate. Sometimes we all say all the fans don't know football. Well, it's the players too. It's the players in the media. So I think it really
does. Did they pick this? Was it the fans or the players that picked it? Because we
players.
Right? Oh, it was the players.
The players get a vote. The fans get a vote, but it's more the players in the media that get the votes more. So
it might seem like a little bit of a popularity. I don't know. Kyler Murray. I shout out to him for the team success. Shout out to him for what he did, but he missed that month of the season, and I'm kind of like,
with injury. Yeah.
Is there somebody else, like maybe a Matthew Stafford, that you could have put in that spot?
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
So but there's obviously always going to be snubs. Austin Eckler, didn't he get snubbed in the AFC?
He did. He should have made it. Cordell Patterson could have been another candidate.
Well, right. So, that's something. And Cordell Patterson, you could have put him at kick returner. You could have put him at wideout. You could have put him at running back.
He is any position. He's going to dominate.
Right. So you could have stuck him on the team. So I think, for the most part, I mean, it's pretty legit. There's a couple guys in there that maybe got snubbed, but at the end of the day, I can't promise you that I'm going to watch it. I mean, it's been a while since I've
seen the Pro Bowl. Yeah.
I used to watch it every year, but it's been a while. I hate it, but I did get to. I went one time. My brother lived in Hawaii because he was in the Marines. He just retired, but he was in Hawaii, and they were stationed right near Honolulu, and I got to actually see Honolulu Stadium where they used to play it. But now I think it's somewhere else in the States.
Yes, I think. Let me see where it's going to be at. I think it's going to be. Hold on. It's going to be in Las Vegas.
Okay.
At that brand new, shiny new toy.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's transition into. I kind of want to really quick, Sean, just talk about the NBA games. Then we're going to go into college football, and then we're going to end it off on a good note. With the way COVID has impacted the NBA as well, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Christmas games. Now, I don't know how that's going to be impacted with the Christmas games. The Christmas games still seem to be on pace to keep going. Adam Silver's made it vehemently clear that he's not postponing games. He's not doing anything. Saw last night Joe Johnson come back, which is really good because he started off with the Boston Celtics and he looked good out there. Now the NBA and the Players Association have agreed on they are closing in on a deal to adjust the protocols. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, the current 10-day quarantine could be shortened. This is what Wojnarowski is saying, to 6 days. They also when they want to consult their own infectious disease specialists and studying research models in the United Kingdom and other places. Because right now, according to what the articles on Yahoo Sports, 97% of the players are fully vaccinated and 65% of them are eligible to get the booster. But he's made it very clear that he's not stop. He doesn't have any plans to stop or pause the season. Okay. He's made that clear. Yeah. Just in the month of December alone, 123 players have entered the protocols. And with the amount of G League players and free agents that they're trying to just fill, it's not been a mess, but you kind of can see where
it's been a mess.
It's kind of been a mess.
It's getting there.
Hopefully. Uh-oh. Did I miss something, Michelle? Did I say something that was funny? I'm just curious. Not trying to be smart. I see the laughing emoji. So yeah, the Christmas games, we've got the Hawks and the Sixers, the Rockets and the Pace. No, I'm sorry, that's today. Christmas games. We got the Hawks and the Knicks, rematch from the playoffs, Celtics and the Bucks, Golden State versus Phoenix, the Lakers versus the Nets, Mavs versus the Jazz. I think my picks are the Hawks, Bucks, Warriors, Lakers, and the Jazz.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
Those are going to be some great Christmas games. Enjoy those, as well as also these football games as well, because you got the day after Christmas. You got Orlando and Miami, Philadelphia, Washington, Toronto, Cleveland, Memphis, Sacramento, Detroit, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Indiana, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles Clippers. Got some great basketball, great football as well this weekend. So I'm going to – I can't keep – it's going to be hard for me to keep up with all the games, obviously, with basketball and football. But we do play the Knicks tonight, and I do – hopefully the Wizards get it together. We did – the game against the Nets were postponed. For all intended purposes, the Wizards should win this game. Again, starts with defense first. Got to make shots.
They should
win this game because we were 10-3. We were first place at one point, and now we're the 7th seed. It's really bad. It's not bad. It's just starting to see the true identity of what this team is. Really are. So the Washington Wizards will beat the New York Knicks tonight.
Guaranteed.
I don't have a score, but I have a feeling they'll beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's transition into really quick. I know because you're a Tar Heel, and obviously Maryland Terrapin. How did you feel about your recruitments for football?
Thus far, I think we're doing pretty good. Right now, we're the 8th best. We have the 8th best recruiting class in college football. Only teams ahead of us: Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, and A&M, which is solid because those are all top-tier programs, especially coming to college football. We have 2 5-star recruits that we were able to get, 9 4-star and 6 3-star recruits, 17 total. And we ended up getting the number 4 recruit, number 4 ranked guy coming out of high school, Travis Shaw. He's going to play D lineman. I'm very interested to see what he's got. 6'5", 310. Yeah.
Got some guys in there. I like that.
Right. And he's a local boy. So you know how that stuff goes. And you know, you and I had talked about this before, kind of where we're getting the guys. And a lot of them are local. A lot of them are Raleigh, North Carolina, or other Greensboro, North Carolina. That's where Travis Shaw's from. A lot of those guys are from there, or Lower Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Suffolk, Lynchburg, stuff like that. Now you see occasionally, like Sebastian Cheeks, we were able to get from Evanston, Illinois, or we had, who's the other guy we had on here? Marcus Allen, no relation, I'm assuming, to the great running back, but he's at Marietta, Georgia. You know what I mean? And then we got a guy, I believe, an O-lineman, Justin Kaniuk from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And we got a little transfer, 3-star transfer from Miami. He's an inside offensive lineman. Look, Mac Brown, our head coach, solid head coach. You know, a lot of people know him from the 2005 game where he coached Texas, led by Vince Young, over the mighty USC with Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush and Lindell White and all those guys. You know what I mean? Hey, those guys, they did what they did, but this Mac Brown is definitely rejuvenating our program. And a lot of people are trying to come and play for that school because you've seen, look, this year alone, we've seen, especially at running back, how his running backs dominated the league on teams that weren't the best. You got Javonte Williams, who's making a name for himself, splitting solid time with Melvin Gordon and actually doing pretty great. And then you have Michael Williams with the Jets, who's been also, while he was playing before he got hurt, he was definitely balling out for the Jets. So We're doing it. De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome, who are receivers from last year, both 1,000-yard guys out of North Carolina, didn't have the best of years. De'Ami Brown broke his collarbone in training camp, so he hasn't really gotten any action. And De'Ami Brown is MIA. I definitely sent out an AP beat for him because I didn't know where he was. I'm like, bruh, come on, call me. I got your back. You need to do something because I can't find you on that field, man. So I like that he's getting recruits. I like that he's getting guys to come as we need it. The ACC right now in the ACC, I really feel like it's kind of almost like this is a vulnerable moment. Clemson down. Even their quarterback potentially left. Their main guy, Brent Venables, went over to, I think, OU. I think he went to Oklahoma to coach them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Dabo had a down year. That defense is still solid. They still got 5-star guys, but, they're not the team 2 years ago with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and those type of guys.
I agree.
So this is the time, I think, with Sam Howell, who's in the Heisman running, and definitely looking to potentially be one of the top tier quarterbacks coming out of the draft. Not 2022, but 2023. Yep. I'm very eager to see what we can do. I'll be on here another time next week when we talk about the bowl games that we have coming up.
For sure. We got a couple games that we're going to preview in a little bit. But you guys are building something special. I like it. Same thing with Maryland. We got a couple 4-stars in there. We got a 5-star linebacker. Yeah. Terrence Lewis.
Didn't y'all flip him?
We flipped him.
Yeah.
We flipped him. I got to give Coach Lockley a lot of credit from where we had with DJ Durkin. Mm-hmm. What the program was when he was here into what it is now. He's building something here in Maryland, and he's could get Jacob Copeland out of Florida. Mm-hmm. He entered the transfer portal. Just within the turnaround these last couple years, it's been amazing to see what he's done in that program.
Yeah.
Disappointed that some guys did leave. Unfortunately, we got a lot of 3-stars. Mm-hmm. Ramon Brown he's a Virginia boy. Shalik Knotts, North Carolina boy. We got him 4-star. So, a lot of 3-stars, but again, like I'm noticing it's starting to be very local. Mm-hmm. and I want guys to. I'm really happy that these guys are considering going to these schools that is not an Alabama, mm-hmm. not an Oklahoma, USC, Florida, where they can play at their own pace. We did get a transfer 4-star. We started off as a 4-star. Marcus Fleming, he went from, I think it's Nebraska.
Okay.
From the Maryland. We got one that signed a letter of intent. He's a 3-star. So, in the Big Ten, particularly where we're at, I think we're, according to the stats, we're like 11th. Let me make sure I have that right.
When in the Big Ten you're talking about?
Right, in terms of we rank 11th in the Big Ten as far as recruiting.
Yeah.
So
you're like 29th or 30th overall.
Right, which could be better, but
wait, we'll you said you're 11th? It's got you at 8 right here.
It has 8? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. 8. I apologize. Thank you.
Yeah,
8th in recruiting. We definitely moved up. Yeah, you're right. We're national rank 18th. We're 4th in the Big Ten. So I like it. I like it for sure. We're going to transition to these bowl games this weekend, and then we're going to close it out here. We've got currently the bowl game, North Texas versus Miami of Ohio, 6-6. I think they already played. I think the game's over. It should be. I think they started like at 3:30. I think it was.
No. I think it's 13-11 left in the fourth. Miami of Ohio is up 27-14 over North Texas, but North Texas has the ball right now. It's over on ESPN.
Okay. We got the Union Home Mortgage Gasparo Bowl, UFC's Central Florida versus Florida. and they're playing at the Raymond James Stadium. UCF is 8-4. Florida is 500.
Mm-hmm. Florida's coach got fired a couple
weeks ago, Dan Mullen, and Billy Napier is replacing him.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe Zach Carter is the top pass rusher. I think he's actually supposed to go in. I think he's going to go in the draft.
Oh, nice.
I do. Henry, what's going on, sir? And then obviously Jacob Copeland, he did enter the transfer portal and he's not going to play. He and Zach Carter not going to play.
Yeah.
So,
this Florida team, even though they're 6-6, they've played some high scoring games. Monty Jones is their quarterback. He's their guy, top rusher as well. Hey, my fiance is from 20 minutes outside of Detroit. So, I got to rock that. I'm Washington all day, but I got to rock some Detroit, especially when y'all get that W.
I like it.
But Jones is a solid quarterback, dual threat guy. He leads the team in rushing as well. So I'm eager to see how they perform in this game. Obviously, they don't have Mullen. They don't have, like you said, Copeland. He'll be out.
Wasn't Anthony Richardson starting?
When Mullen was there, it was a 2-quarterback system.
Okay.
Right? Monty Jones kind of took over the reins, and he's had over 2,600 yards. He's had over 600 yards on the ground. Emory Jones is what his name is. My apologies.
Emory. Okay.
But he's done what he can do. But like you said, it was both of them. I'm actually trying to look up the stats for the other quarterback.
Because I know, if I remember, I read somewhere where he got injured.
Yeah.
Knee injury. So
Richardson has 529 yards passing, 6-5 on touchdowns. But Richardson 401 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, you're right. It was a dual-headed QB system, a 2-quarterback system at the beginning of the year, and that's one of the things that a lot of people are kind of questioning Dan Mullen for.
Right.
But Emory Jones, because of the injury, definitely has took the lead over it, and a dual-threat guy, like I said, he's doing what he can do. I'm eager to see what University of Central Florida can do against this team that is, pretty downtrodden with a lot of things that are going on
right now. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm eager to see what this game is like tonight.
Yeah, I think UCF, University of Central Florida, will beat Florida University.
I believe
I'm
so.
looking on the lines of 34-21.
Guaranteed.
I like that. I got 34-30. I got 34-31. I think it's gonna be a little more high scoring.
Guaranteed.
I like it. We got the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. University of Memphis versus the University of Hawaii. You got the University of Memphis 500 and Hawaii 6-7. Now, just really quick. I know this is random. The Towson Lady Tigers were supposed to play the women's Memphis Tigers basketball a couple weeks ago, but that game got postponed. So this game, I believe his name is Calvin Austin, the third plays for Memphis. I think he actually, I looked at his stats, he's actually pretty good. He could be a potential NFL draft pick, probably.
Memphis has had some guys that have come out of there. I mean, most notably for us, Antonio Gibson, who was a big stud over there, played running back and wide receiver. There's a guy, I don't know if he's in the league now, Coxie, that's played for them. Austin the third, like you said, he's been balling out, man. Memphis they got a squad, man. The quarterback Hennigan is over 3,000 yards in the air, 25-8, touchdown interception ratio. So they can play. They've been sending guys to the league. So I wouldn't sleep on Memphis.
Now, how do you feel about their defense? Because they have lost. I did look at their schedule, who they played. They did lose the last 6 of their 9 games after going 3-0. That did happen.
They've always been top heavy. They've always been very offense heavy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of those games were great to bet on because they play teams like SMU and the score would be 56 or 59-49 or something like that. You know what I mean? God. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're getting high scoring games all throughout the season, and it's kind of like, oh. But even in most of these games, Tulane they won, but they gave up 28. They gave up 30 to East Carolina. Tulsa put up 35. Temple put up 34. You know what I mean? So
that is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah,
You're 30 points
to teams that aren't necessarily the greatest. You know what I mean? So, and they obviously have been hit from their offense, but like I said, Gibson, Coxie, some of those guys are out, so they haven't been able to put it up as well as they have been doing. Normally, they're in the 40s and 50s with their passing, but Memphis in this game, I think they can get the W because Hawaii coming in at 6-7. Shout out to the late great Colt Brennan.
Yes, rest in peace.
He was great at Hawaii. He did his thing,
And
man.
Are they all Mountain West? That the conference?
That's what Memphis is. I think the Sun Belt, but Hawaii is the Mountain West. I think
that's what I thought. Okay, I know. I know. I was like Hawaii is on Mountain. Okay, got it.
Memphis is American Athletic.
American Athletic. Okay, got it.
AAC. Yeah.
I thought it throws me off with all these conferences. It throws me off.
Oh, I understand. And Hawaii is Mountain West. Yep.
Right. Okay, I had it right. Okay. The only thing I've seen in this game, I think the biggest thing to highlight is this guy. His name is Darius Manusau.
Mm-hmm.
He had 109 tackles. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
A lot of guys, from what I read, they're actually going to transfer from Hawaii, which I'm not. We'll talk about that after the bowl, after these games. But I think Memphis, I think it's kind of going to be kind of close. I'm going to say 30-24.
Guaranteed.
I can see that happen. I think it's going to be close too. Because Memphis is not. I mean, albeit their offense might be good. You talked about Austin and Hennigan. Their defense, like you said, it's not. They're putting up. They're letting teams that don't deserve to be putting up these amount of points. I mean, everybody plays as long as you play in the game. You play. You can deserve to do it, whatever. But you're like, dude, you're putting your Temple putting up 35 on you. Tulsa, like, come on, guys. So Hawaii could do that. I will say their quarterback Corderio is not the usual. He's not getting the usual numbers of a Hawaii quarterback. A lot of those Hawaii quarterbacks put up to 4,000, 4,500 yards. He's just on over 2,500 yards. He's got like 26, 2,700 yards. Actually, almost 28.
It sounds like a guy that doesn't fit their system. No,
and he's 17 and 11 touchdown interception ratio. So that's not going to cut it at a Hawaii. But they're 6-7. They're second to last in their division in their conference. So, the fact that they're in the bowl is shout out to you guys. But
well deserved. Just got to see how it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, we got this is they play tomorrow. This is Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we got the Tax Act Carmelia. Am I saying that right? Bowl.
Let me see. Tax Act Camellia
Bowl. Georgia State versus Ball State. Now they have this guy, right? I can't think. Artavius Lane. He's gotten selected, I think, the All Sun Belt Conference selection twice.
Who? Georgia State or Ball State?
Georgia State.
Okay.
Actually, could be he could be an interesting little prospect. Now I looked at his stats. He was second in the league with four interceptions. He was the third leading tackle with 72. He's actually the career leader in interceptions. Sean Elliott, he's a good little coach for them. I like him. Actually, the little background search on him. He, even though he's 30, 35, he took over. He was actually at South Carolina and Appalachian State before he became the head coach for Georgia State. So with Ball State, I don't really know much about them. I do know I've heard of this guy named Bryce Crosby because I'm always looking like who could be a potential prospect.
Draft pick, yeah.
I did a little research on him too. Bryce Crosby, he's a fifth year senior. 2018-19 All Mid-Atlantic Conference first team, defensive player of the game. I mean, it looks like a decent player. I mean,
Look, Georgia State's not a bad team. I think this season for them was a tale of 2 seasons. The first half of the season where they went 1-5, 1-4. You know what I mean? They lost to the UNCs, they lost to Auburn, Appalachian State. Then after that, they go 6-1. You know what I mean? They sit there and they beat the likes of Coastal Carolina, who we all know was ranked this year. Arkansas State had some firepower on offense. And they're scoring points 7-5. I think this is definitely good for them. And we got to go to that quarterback who they don't really throw it super like a lot. They run a lot more
Run the ball more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Granger is still 16-4. 16
right.
TDs, 4 interceptions, but under 2,000, only 1,500 yards passing. So this is definitely a major running team. They're getting it done. I think right now, like I'm with you as far as Ball State, and I feel bad about this, but I really don't. I watch a lot of Mid-American Conference football, and I don't know anything about Ball State this year.
I don't know anything about neither. I mean, I looked at their defense. They ranked 94 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia State is 82nd points per game. Like their defenses are not that great. So I mean, this could be like a 40-35 game. But I think
it will be. I think you're right.
I think it's going to be a game like that. I think Georgia State is going to win this bowl game 40-35.
Guaranteed.
I like that one.
We got the Quick Lane Bowl. We got Western Michigan versus Nevada. Western Michigan 7-5. Nevada's 8-4. Mm-hmm. Now you got a guy here in Nevada, Mr. Carson Strong, Mr. Mountain West Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. He put the Madden numbers out there. Could be an NFL prospect. I think he's a sophomore.
No,
I think he is.
I think he's in
junior.
Junior.
The junior. So he could. If he wanted to, he could declare for the draft. Mm-hmm. He did. Actually, he did.
Yeah,
he did. He did declare for the draft. Because I think he's
sixth best passer in the country. Yeah, he's a monster.
He's a monster. You're kind of smelling yourself, but it's all good.
I think. You know what? I think this is kind of the time to go. Because you're not going to get. How much better are you really going to get? Nevada's not going to win a national championship. They're not going to go 10-0 or 11-0, that type of stuff. He threw 4,100 yards this year, 36 TDs and only 8 interceptions. You know what I mean? Like he's had a solid year, and at Nevada, where his attention has gone up, I think and you already said he jumped out for the draft. So let's go. Test your chances. Hopefully you get on a team that's legit and you don't have to start and put you in harm's way right away. But I think he's one of the more NFL ready quarterbacks, in my opinion.
I agree.
From what I've seen of him playing.
I've seen him I've seen some videos on YouTube. He definitely does have some tangibles.
Yeah.
That does make him not right off the jump a starting quarterback. Maybe he would learn behind the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Maybe like, for example, like a Mac Jones, for example, something like that.
I take him to a vet. You know what I mean? Like I could you know what? I could see him coming behind Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? I trust.
You don't think Jordan Love could? You don't think Jordan Love is that? No.
I watched Jordan Love in college. I just never really. Everybody was so quick to be like, "Yo, this is the new Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Now Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Jordan Love is the new guy." I've seen Jordan Love play, and we talked about just like with Carson Strong. There's certain intangibles. Jordan Love. Once we start getting into this conversation, well, he doesn't have this or he doesn't have blah, blah, blah. Jordan Love is maybe good. I haven't seen enough to really say he's legit. Do I think he's the next thing? I think there's a huge gap, obviously, between him and Aaron. But and the thing that I think is different is I don't think there was that big of a gap between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
No, that wasn't. I agree. There wasn't a gap. I think it was more of a, when do you learn to pass the torch? Like help this guy, like show this guy, look, this is how you go about it. Because I think let's call it what those last couple years with Brett Favre at Green Bay did have some diva-like tendencies,
Oh, he definitely did. He definitely, and he had earned that though. You know what I mean? he earned that with those NFL MVPs and getting the Super Bowl ring and taking them to 2 Super Bowls. He had earned those accolades, and shout out to him. And in some of these cases, I know I never played anything outside of college, but I do know there is nothing like that feeling of running out of the tunnel or running onto the field with the fans cheering. And that is something that once you don't have it anymore, it's hard. It's hard. That's why you see him in all these little videos making all these little stupid comments and doing all this stuff, because he wants that attention. He wants to get back in it, man. And look, I think Carson Strong will be good to come under something like that. I would trust him under a Big Ben if Big Ben mysteriously decides to play another year. You know what I mean? Maybe behind a Russell Wilson, maybe behind a Matthew Stafford, somebody where he would be able to come in kind of like a Tyler Huntley, get in there, do his job, boom, boom, boom. But he's not going to be relied on.
Right. He just here's something. Here's your role. Know it.
Right.
Exactly. I agree. Right. I agree. Now the head coach Jay Noel, he's going to leave. I can't remember where he's going. He's staying in the conference, but he's going to another team. He took another job.
Oh wow.
So I think his name is Chris Alt.
Okay.
Is taking his position, which again I don't understand why we're seeing that. We talked about it with Anthony Handy. Shout out to him while they're leaving in the middle of the season. Why not wait till after the season? To me, but Western Michigan, you guys had looked him up. Caleb Ellerby.
They're ballers. They can play.
I don't think they can beat Jim Harbaugh in the crew, but they could definitely play.
Mm-hmm. You saw that boy Moore, right?
I have seen him. He can play.
That boy's a monster. 10 touchdowns, 1,200 receiving yards. You know what I mean? Look, they're not you. When you see all the lists of all the other great guys, you're like, oh my god! But these guys can play. These guys can ball out in the Mid-American Conference. The defenses aren't the best, but at the same time, you put up numbers like this, in teams like this where you can do it. Like, hey, shout out to you, Ellerby. Like you talked about, 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You know what I mean? Over 3,000 passing yards.
Yeah. The only thing,
1,000.
So, I agree. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
Yeah, no, you're good.
The only thing that scares me in this game is Michigan's defense. I looked it up. They're 28th in yards allowed, and they've given up 343 points. I guess a Nevada team this with led by this with Carson Strong, they have their work cut out for them. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be close. 35-32 Western Michigan.
Guaranteed.
Now, what I will say, Western Michigan has come into this losing their last 2 and three out of their last 4, as opposed to Nevada, who won their last 2 and won 3 out of their last 5. I personally think I agree it's going to be high scoring, but I think I'm going to say 41-40 Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be. Yeah, I think I can see your stuff too. So I'm with that.
We got the Military Bowl presented by Perriton. Boston College versus East Carolina. Boston College is 500 on the year. East Carolina comes in at 7-5. Don't really know much about these two teams. There is a guy, his name running back for Eastern Michigan. His name is Keaton Mitchell. Looked him up. He looks pretty solid.
Yeah, for East Carolina. No,
yeah,
he's solid. He's solid. But I don't know how to say his name. Alaires, the quarterback. Him and Snead got a connection. They've been playing together for a couple years, so he can ball. This East Carolina team, I think, is a little bit better than the record shows. But they can put up some numbers. The problem is this BC team is not like what their record shows. This BC
team
lost some close games. I believe they lost to Syracuse late. They lost to Wake Forest, number 18, Wake Forest, and FSU late. But they were able to put up some big numbers against like Georgia Tech. They put up 41 on them. So I honestly, Boston College, I think they're gonna it's gonna be rough for East Carolina. But East Carolina's won the last 4 games and 4 out of the last 5. So
we'll see.
Definitely.
Because I mean, this is a very interesting game. I mean, on paper, I looked at East Carolina's roster and then the stats. East Carolina should win this game. Because again, I won't go back to Keaton Mitchell. He's definitely a big part of this offense. From what I've seen and some of the videos I've seen on YouTube. I don't know much about Boston College. They have this quarterback. His name's Phil Jarfico, something like that. I know he's missed. I know he's missed an injury. Missed a few 6 games due to injury. He has struggled in those 6 games. So East Carolina 31-24.
Guaranteed.
Wow. Yeah, if their starter, if Boston College starter was in there, Jerkovic, I would say Boston College. But I don't. This guy Grosel, I don't know who. I've never seen him play, so
I don't know who he is neither.
I'm not gonna sure. But look, hey, they Boston College is ground and pound. Okay, so what they try to do is run, set up some play action, do stuff like that. Most notably, coming from Boston College, I mean, we all know about Matty Ice, 10 some odd years ago, but AJ Dillon, who's balling out for the Packers right now from Boston
College. Yep.
If they can get that where they're running, winning the time of possession, winning the turnover battles, winning the red zone, I think they can get this W. Because Eastern Carolina they're solid. They have a nice offense, but I wonder, this is where you start getting into some of the conferences, and you have the AAC versus the ACC, and the ACC is normally a lot better, similar to the UCF and Florida game, where it's the SEC versus the AAC, and then you start seeing, okay, is these conferences naturally better, or is it gonna whoever shows up to play?
Shows to play. I think it's just naturally the conferences are getting better because again the recruitment. Yep. Again, the transfer portal. Like guys are starting to understand. Well, maybe if I go to this school and transfer from that school, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a true big difference.
You're absolutely right.
We're going to get into the Tuesday games, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Damn.
The ticket smarter Birmingham Bowl, Houston versus Auburn, who should have beat Alabama in that game. I'm not letting that go, man. Auburn's 500, and then Houston is 11-2. How do you feel about this game, Sean?
I think Houston's going to win it. I think Houston, 2 losses doesn't represent the team. One of those losses is to one of the teams in the Final Four. And as a matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, their other loss, who else did they lose to? Oh, they lost 1 game to Texas Tech. So, they're 11-2. Their coach used to be the coach of West Virginia. He's a fighter. He's almost like similar to Gruden without all the extra stuff. But that guy, he's a gamer. He gets the job. He gets those guys fired up and gets those guys playing. Houston is a solid team. I think a lot better than their number 20 ranking, especially with how they played a lot of the teams in their division. I say Houston's going to take this one more so because Bo Nix out of Auburn has transferred. We know he's going to be at Oregon. So now you're getting the second guy, who I believe is Finley.
Finley's okay. I believe in him.
He played decent. I don't know that I don't share that same belief in the guy, because I just feel like he's decent. I hope he does great. Let's be honest. I hope he does a solid game. But I think Houston's, their offense is solid. Their defense is very underrated but pretty legit. So I got it. But the matchup predictor, ESPN, has Auburn at almost a 20-point favorite. They have a 59.5 chance to win as opposed to Houston's 40.5 chance. So that's where you start talking about these conferences and who's better and who's so it's gonna be interesting to see. I think Houston wins, and it gets away from Auburn late.
Right. Well, I mean, that's also not. I'm not going to say that Auburn's got Roger McCreary and Derek Stingley Jr. Stingley is potentially going to be in the draft next season, but this Auburn team should have beaten Alabama. I'm not letting that go.
No.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Yeah. Look, I respect it, man. But when you go up against Alabama, you got to put up more than 10.
But you had it.
You got to put up more than 10. You need that insurance time, man. You can't sit on anything. But I
think Houston is going to be Auburn. I'm sorry, Charles Barkley. 35-27.
Guaranteed.
The Surf Pro First Responder Bowl, Air Force versus Louisville, Lamar Jackson's alma mater. Malik Cunningham, actually, he was in the ACC. Yes, he's in the ACC. Excuse me. He definitely, I think, is undervalued. I think he could play. I like him. He actually is 14th according to statistics I saw in total yards, over 3,700 yards, 37 touchdowns. Compared to Air Force, I looked up this guy. His name, the best player on the team is Brad Roberts. Well over 14 touchdowns, almost 1,300 yards rushing. I mean, I didn't see it again, watching the highlights on YouTube where they played Louisville playing Syracuse. Dude, Louisville looks pretty good, but their record doesn't say that. I think they're better than what their record is. So
I think Louisville's Malik Cunningham, first and foremost, is a poor man's Lamar Jackson. But I mean, I like him. I think he can ball. He has the potential to ball. The problem is he is that team. So if he leads them in rushing with 32 yards less away from 100 and 19 rushing touchdowns, he's their baller at quarterback. I can dig it. I think the problem is going to be their defense. I think Malik's going to give him the best shot. But look, like you said, Roberts, over 14 touchdowns. Roberts and this Air Force offense, they run that triple option, man.
They sure do.
You need a lot of time to practice on that practice for that triple option. They run it with precision. You know what I mean? So, hey, shout out to Air Force. I think Air Force is just going to run the clock down. I think Malik Cunningham's going to do something, and it might be closer and score than what the actual game is. But I got Air Force in this one.
Okay, I wish you on that one. Let's just really quick because we just be respectful of time. We've got the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Mississippi State versus Texas Tech.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I have no clue. I got nothing. I've seen Texas Tech. I've seen Melon. I will say Mississippi State because they got Leach at coach. Will Rogers has over almost 4,500. Over almost 4,500 yards, 35 and 8 touchdowns to interception ratio. Polk, 98 receptions, 989 yards, 9 TDs. They are a air raid pass heavy offense with Mike Leach as their coach. He came from Washington State where they just passed it all over the yard. So, but Texas Tech is also one of those type teams.
Didn't he coach Texas Tech?
Did he coach Texas Tech?
He
might have. He might have coached Texas Tech. I'll look that up. But Texas Tech is the same type of team. The alma mater of one Patrick Mahomes, and
he did coach Texas Tech. He did.
Okay.
The air raid offense, is that what they called it?
Yep. 5 wide receiver, that type of stuff. Where you're always going out there.
That's what you say on Madden.
He's been, but it gets the job done. You know what I mean? Like they throw the ball, 95% of the time, and they have running plays built in where it's more like a backwards pass kind of thing or a screen pass, something like that. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. To be honest with you, I'm looking at a 45-41. I'm going to go Mississippi State.
Okay. The San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl, UCLA versus NC State. UCLA 7-5, NC State's 9-3. I like Peyton Wilson and Isaiah Moore. Those boys could go. They did. Obviously, I think they went down with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But they got this guy Drake. Y'all got this guy named Drake Thomas.
For who? NC State. What position?
I think he's a running. I think he plays linebacker. I think he's a linebacker. Yes.
Okay.
I like him. I think you guys will win. I look along the lines of 38-30.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think a lot of people are sleeping on NC State. NC State almost won the ACC this year. Dennis Leary, their quarterback, over 3,400 yards, 35-5. Amezi, this guy, a receiver, I think is an NFL prospect. He's been a solid guy for the last couple years. And then you got Knight at running back. NC State has an offense. They got a team. They've done really solid this year. I think they can pull off this victory, but I'm not going to sleep on UCLA any means at all.
I agree.
At running back over 1,000. Thomas Robinson, balls out of quarterback. I've always liked that guy. You know what I mean?
Dorian Thomas Robinson, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I like I like your score. You know what I mean? I like it being kind of high scoring. I say maybe 34-28, maybe something like that. You know, NC State.
Now the last game for the Tuesday games, and we'll reconnect at some point next week after Christmas. We got West Virginia, the guaranteed rate bowl versus Minnesota 8-4. I think the Minnesota Gophers.
Yep.
I like Tanner Morgan. They just actually it's funny, they had their offensive coordinator, they rehired him. I read that somewhere, right? And I was like, oh wow, okay. They're 6-2. They lost to Iowa by 5.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is allowing 18 points and have given up almost 285 yards a game. I mean, from what I understand about the coach, Kurt Corella, he was an analyst at West Virginia. So,
yeah.
But there's that unwritten rule. You really shouldn't be, spilling the beans about your former team.
But you know it happens.
Yeah,
you know it happens. You know, I'm with you, man. Look, Minnesota. Early in the year, they played Ohio State, and they gave Ohio State everything they could handle, and actually had Ohio State down in the fourth quarter before Ohio State, scored like 17 unanswered. Minnesota, that run game is legit. They play good defense, like you said. They help teams to 18 points a game. Minnesota is great. I've seen West Virginia. I love West Virginia. Shout out to my baby who's going to see her family in West Virginia right now. She probably actually just got there.
Nice.
They just don't look great this year.
No.
Lenny Brown is a solid running back, and hopefully he'll get on a team. I think he's very underrated. But they just their quarterback is. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I think because their head coach is Neil Brown, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's
another thing.
They 5? He's actually 500.
Mm-hmm. 6-6.
So
not good. And like I said, the guy from Houston, who coaches at Houston, used to coach at West Virginia. He had those teams going solid. If you look at it, Will Grier used to play for the Panthers. He used to be a backup over there. He was a stud over at West Virginia, and they would always, be 9-3, maybe 10-2, something like that. Could never really get over the hump. But Will Grier had them boys balling out. But this year, just Doge is just not a good quarterback, in my opinion.
I agree.
He's struggling. If they can get that running game going and maybe keep Minnesota off the field and get some turnovers, maybe they can shock somebody. But right now, I got Minnesota 35-21. Maybe.
I'm with you on that one. I like that score.
Guaranteed.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the bowl games up until the 29th. Up until Wednesday. Those other bowl games we'll cover. I might get Sean back here at some point to recover the rest of those games.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bowl games up until New Year's Eve.
Wednesday and Thursday, both of our games will be on those days. So and
Maryland has the Patriot Bowl. North Carolina has the Mayo Bowl.
Love this time of the year.
Exactly. A lot of bowls, and you see, we like great conversation. Just for this from tonight until next Tuesday, a lot of bowl games, good teams. Some teams you question, okay, how did they get a bowl game? But
right. Well, I mean, there's 44. So one quick note: Miami of Ohio got the victory in the Frisco Football Classic presented by
congratulations
Ryan over North Texas. They won 27-14.
Nice, congratulations to North Texas.
No, Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio. Congratulations.
And then that Florida game starts in 2 minutes or
2 minutes. So
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, really quick, with that being said, that's going to conclude episode 6 of the podcast. This will be the last episode on StreamYard. I will still have StreamYard. I'll use it from time to time. After the holiday break, I will, yes, absolutely. I will be on Melon, the same works thing, just like YouTube. Like StreamYard. So I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. Definitely. I like that. I like those pillows, Sean.
Yeah. Thanks. Shout out used.
Take this opportunity to reflect, just reach out to loved ones, just say how you're thinking about them. I know for the holidays it may be different with the pandemic. Maybe one less person at the table may not be the same, but try to look at the brighter side. Mm-hmm. You're here on this. You're still here for a reason. Just I know it's going to be tough for some, but try to make the best of it. Enjoy the holiday. Stay safe, because this recent rise in cases, it's serious out here. Look out for one another. Just do your part. You can catch Sean Spencer actually again this evening on the round table. Mm-hmm. And I will, let me really quick leave his link. I'll leave his link in the description below, because he's going to be on the round table with Nick Rosario and Delilah Crespo. Good episode. Actually, surprising last night, Sean. I got to give you props for last night.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
Because you had three straight shows. Let's Talk Football with Gerard. Shout out to Gerard.
Jared.
You had Jared. I'm sorry. I apologize. Jared. Shout out to Jared. And you had the Let's Talk Fantasy Football show with Sid and David. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
And then had Washington Football Weekly with Will Kramer. Shout out to Will. Again, congratulations to you and your missus on the newborn. Shout out to Ed. I know he's got some things going on with with his family, getting ready for the holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then tonight you got the round table, and yeah. So I'll definitely be tuned in. Hopefully, you probably see me on there, crossing fingers, because it actually starts in about an hour. So, Sean's going to send me a bill.
Yeah.
Just send me a bill for taking up some of his time. But I do appreciate you joining me on this episode.
No doubt.
Again, I'll leave his YouTube channel in the description below. Check him out. Great guy, knows all his football, college, pros, fantasy football. He's helped me so far with fantasy football, along with Mr. David Wright and Mr. Sidney Swinton.
Yeah, help you to beat me.
Well, it might help me to beat Ab.
No.
So, yes. But I digress, because it was a bad week.
You won. You won the first part of the week. It was a bad week.
It threw me off, because I thought it was like the wild card, then the divisional, then the conference, then the championship. That's how I thought it worked.
Yeah.
But I thought wrong. So, with that being said,
he's hustling us, ladies and gentlemen. This man has fantasy leagues all over the place, and he tells us, I've never played fantasy. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah. And then spots us 3 or 4 games at the beginning of the year. I'm like, oh, this guy definitely doesn't know what he's doing. Then all of a sudden, he's in the playoffs as a number 2 seed. And it's like, oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look back on that video, and I want to leave it in the description below for you to see. That draft was rigged from the beginning. My team was 0-3. Okay, I want to thank the great Ozzie Newsome.
Oh God,
for giving me rubbing some of his greatness off on me. Oh, help me build a team. Cooper Kupp, really pulled through. But I ain't gonna lie, some of the guys I had on my team, I still kind of feel bad. I regret trading Herbert or Carr. The run game's kind of stay consistent. I should have kept Joe Mixon. I had Joe Mixon at one point, but So So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. Stay safe. I'll see you after the Christmas break. Enjoy these football games. Enjoy these basketball games. Excuse me. And more importantly, man, just stay safe and have a great holiday, man. Just try to bring joy to somebody's day. Because again, I get it. The pandemic, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, it's a lot. It's towing. But let's make it a great holiday. And I will see y'all after the holiday. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.